everybody. It is Friday. It is the start of the weekend. Today you read another psalm, and I love the Psalms. And this one talks about God's love never failing us. And as I was thinking about God's love never failing us, I started to think about times when my love had failed. Because we're supposed to be working in our lives to love other people as God loves us, which is a pretty lofty goal. But one of the ways that we can think about that is to think about where we failed in the past and how we can keep from making those failures in the future, or what we've learned from those failures. So I thought back over many years of my life, and I thought about when I was younger, when I was a child in school, and 1 year in 5th grade, I joined the Mean Girls group, and we were so mean to one girl in the class, but we all ended up going to the school counselor together and patched that all up, and I learned then that I didn't want to follow people and not like somebody just because the group said to do it. So I learned at that point that I needed to make my own decisions about the people in my lives. And then I thought, moving on in my life, I thought about how I got so angry at not just God when I left the church, but how I got so angry at the people in the church, and really just not just was angry with the small group of people who had hurt me, but became angry at everybody in that church community. And what I've learned from that is again, it's wrong to group other people together as one. Just because one person of a group does something wrong, something that hurts you, doesn't mean that then is something that is part of the whole group. And so a lot of times we group people together in the world, and if one person wrongs us from that group, we shun the entire group and say that entire group is not worthy of my love. And so that's what I learned from that. And then the final thing that I thought about that I learned is when my dad went to prison. Before my dad was in prison, I had been asked to do some prison ministry. And I'm so ashamed every time I tell this story, because my answer was that I have nothing in common with those people. And that was an act of me not loving the prisoner. And when my dad went to prison, all of a sudden those people became fathers and grandfathers to me, because I could see myself now in that group. But that doesn't make my initial failure right. It just, when my dad was put in prison, it helped to expand my world. And so that's what I learned from that experience, is that we can't live in a narrow world where we only love certain people and we try to push out and ignore the people who we don't know. It's easy to ignore the prisoner because you do not have to be around them. You don't have to see them. It's easy to ignore the homeless because you're not around them. You don't have to see them if you don't want to. It's easy to ignore all of those sorts of things. But what we are called to do is not to push those things aside, not to hide our faces from them, but to work in our lives to show love to all people, and for our love not to fail, because God gives us unfailing love, and in return we should strive to also have unfailing love in the community around us. That's all I have for today. Have a wonderful weekend. I hope you go to in-person services. I know everybody, they'd love to see you. If you're out of town, though, I'd love to chat with you either on Facebook or on the church website platform, and say hello to you this weekend online. That's all I have. Bye-bye, everybody.